Starseed from Gaia, the one the whole world is reaching for, has already chosen you and only you. I am Ophelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light. I carry this transmission directly from the Arcturian Council, and it has been held in waiting until this precise moment, the moment you arrived here. Not everyone will receive this message. Not everyone is meant to. The soul who is about to enter your life does not belong to the masses, does not belong to the noise, does not belong to the endless searching of this world. This soul belongs to you, chosen before your incarnation on Gaia, sealed in a contract older than time as this planet knows it. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how to recognize the one your soul signed for before this lifetime began. But here is the first revelation. You have been preparing for this meeting not by searching, but by healing. Every layer you released, every silence you sat with, every moment you chose yourself over distraction, that was the preparation. That was the signal being sent. You did not scroll to this by mistake. This message vibrated into your field for a reason. Something ancient in you recognized it before your mind did. This is not content. This is a code. And something inside you is already unlocking. Like this transmission to signal to your star family. I am ready. Subscribe if your mission is activating and you are aligning with your true purpose. Comment 999 if you feel your cosmic remembrance returning. Declare what you are calling in and reply to someone else's declaration to amplify the signal for the entire field. This is not just a message. It is a point of reconnection. Your soul has been waiting for this. You are not here by accident. And yet most starseeds never let themselves receive it. Not because they aren't ready. Not because the connection isn't real. But because somewhere along the way, a pattern was installed deep in the energy body, deep in the cellular memory that said, love this pure, this cosmic, this aligned, isn't meant for you. That said, you must earn it. That said, your mission comes first. Your heart comes later. Your wholeness is a reward, not a birthright. Think about how long you have carried that. Think about how many times you have stood at the edge of something real, something that hummed with the right frequency, something that made your chest expand in a way you couldn't quite explain, and then stepped back. Not because the connection wasn't there, not because the other person wasn't offering something genuine, but because the pattern ran faster than your conscious mind and whispered, with complete authority, that you were asking for too much, that beings like you were designed for service, not for receiving, that the depth of your spiritual nature set you apart in ways that made true intimacy, the kind that reaches all the way down into the galactic roots of who you are, simply impossible within this density. That is the pattern. And it runs through the energy body like a thread of static in an otherwise clear transmission. You can feel it now, can't you? The way it hums beneath the surface of your wanting. The way it rises the moment something beautiful approaches. The way it has shaped the architecture of your relationship history, not through dramatic failures alone, but through the quiet, persistent refusal to fully open. That pattern is a distortion, and today, something in you already knows it. This isn't about romance the way the world has defined it. This isn't about finding someone who checks boxes or fills silence or softens loneliness. The world's definition of love is a pale, distorted echo of what you actually came here to experience. The world's version is transactional. At its core, it trades comfort for presence, fills gaps rather than creates resonance, and collapses the moment the initial chemical surge of attraction settles into the ordinary. That is not what is being spoken of here. That is not what is moving toward you. What's moving toward you, what has already been set in motion across timelines you can't fully see yet, is a vibrational convergence. A meeting that was written into the architecture of this incarnation before you chose to arrive here. A soul encounter so precisely calibrated to your frequency that no algorithm, no app, no surface-level searching could have ever manufactured it. There is a difference between finding someone and being found by a frequency that was always destined to recognize yours. One is a human act of searching. The other is a cosmic act of alignment. And what is approaching you now belongs entirely to the second category. It was not assembled by chance. It was not produced by proximity or timing alone. It was encoded into the structure of your mission before your first breath in this body, placed within the blueprint of this incarnation as a fundamental coordinate, not an optional extra, not a luxury reward for spiritual achievement, but a core component of why you are here and what you are meant to build while you are. The Arcturian transmissions have been consistent about this. The deepest soul connections are not discovered, they are activated. They arise when two beings reach a frequency threshold at the same moment in the same timeline. This is not metaphor. This is not poetic language designed to make longing feel meaningful. This is a description of an actual energetic mechanism, a resonance event that cannot be forced, cannot be rushed, cannot be manufactured through effort or intention alone, but can absolutely be prepared for. And what that means for you right now is extraordinary because you are approaching yours. You are not approaching it someday. You are not approaching it once you've healed more, grown more, achieved more. You are approaching it now, in this moment, as you receive these words, as something in your field stirs and responds to a transmission that your conscious mind is still catching up with. Your frequency is moving through the final calibrations that precede a convergence event. The architecture is completing itself. The codes are activating, and what has been set in motion cannot be stopped by your doubt, cannot be blocked by your past, and cannot be delayed by the distortion unless you allow the distortion to speak louder than the truth that is already living in your cells. Some transmissions don't come through words but through frequency. If something stirred within you just now, you may be ready to receive the hidden Arcturian keys of awakening. This short yet powerful ebook carries ancient Arcturian techniques for conscious expansion, multidimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. The link is in the first pinned comment, but only for a limited time. But here is where most starseeds stall. Here is the invisible wall that stands between them and everything they came here to experience, not just in love, but in purpose, in expansion, in full galactic embodiment. They carry the signal. They feel the pull. They sense that something magnificent is near. And then the distortion activates. It does not announce itself. The distortion is not a loud voice. It is not a dramatic intervention. It is something quieter and far more effective. A barely perceptible tightening in the chest. A subtle withdrawal of the energy field. A mental narrative that begins constructing reasons why now is not the right time. Why this person cannot possibly be what they seem. Why your history has proven that openness leads to wound, and it would be wiser, more spiritual, more self-protective, to maintain the walls that have kept you safe through every previous storm. The distortion dresses itself in the language of discernment. It disguises itself as wisdom. It borrows the vocabulary of your awakening and turns it against you, telling you that your standards are high because you are evolved, when in truth your walls are high because you are afraid. The distortion is ancient. It was seeded into the collective field long before this lifetime. It was not born from your personal wounds alone, though your wounds have fed it and amplified it. It existed before you arrived here. It is a frequency that was woven into the fabric of Earth's consciousness during cycles of density so thick that genuine soul resonance was not only rare but actively suppressed because beings fully activated in love, fully held in authentic connection, fully anchored in each other's frequency, generate a combined field that this planet's distortion systems were designed to prevent. Two starseeds in full resonance become a living frequency generator. They become an anchor point for light that bypasses every suppression mechanism the dense field can throw at them. They become, together, what neither could become alone. And so the distortion does what it was designed to do. It tells you that you are too much, too deep, too sensitive, too awake for ordinary connection. It tells you that your mission makes you untouchable. It tells you that the kind of love that can meet you at your level doesn't exist in this density. And because you've been told this by experiences, by losses, by the slow erosion of hope that happens when you have opened genuinely and been met with something too small, too fearful, too unconscious to hold what you offered, some part of you started to believe it. You started to wear the aloneness like a spiritual credential. You started to speak of your solitude as chosen rather than imposed. You started to construct a narrative in which your depth was the reason connection evaded you, rather than the very thing that makes the right connection inevitable. You took the distortion's lie and gave it the clothing of wisdom, and it has been sitting in your energy field ever since, broadcasting a signal that says available and unavailable at the same time, yes and no within the same breath, open in principle but armored in practice. That belief is not yours. It was never yours. It was placed there to keep your energy field contracted, to suppress the starseed codes that only fully ignite when you are in true resonance with another soul. Because a starseed fully activated in love, fully held, fully witnessed, fully met, becomes something this world has rarely seen. A living transmission, a frequency anchor, a being so aligned between their cosmic origin and their human experience that they begin to recalibrate everything and everyone around them. The rooms they walk into shift. The conversations they engage in carry a charge that people cannot name but cannot forget. The field they hold together with their counterpart becomes a sanctuary not just for themselves but for every consciousness that moves within their orbit. This is what the distortion was designed to prevent. Not your personal happiness alone, though your happiness matters, and the universe is not indifferent to your joy. What the distortion was designed to prevent was the planetary impact of your full activation. Because you are not just a person seeking love. You are a frequency carrier seeking the resonant partner that will complete your transmission. And when that completion happens, what flows through you and through your combined field will reach far beyond the two of you. Your first activation begins with recognizing the lie. The lie that your depth disqualifies you. The lie that your awakening isolates you. The lie that love for a starseed must come at the cost of mission, or that mission must come at the cost of love. These are false binaries woven into Earth's distortion field, and your soul has been trying to untangle them for longer than this single lifetime. There have been incarnations in which you chose mission and let love wait. There have been incarnations in which you dove so completely into connection that the mission blurred and fell away. You have lived both poles of this false choice, and in every lifetime, the wound of the unchosen path remained. This lifetime is different. This lifetime was designed to be the integration, not mission or love, not purpose or heart, both, simultaneously, in full activation. Because the highest expression of your starseed mission does not happen in isolation from love. It happens through the frequency that love of this caliber generates. You were not sent here to be a solitary lighthouse. You were sent here to be part of a network of light, and the most immediate node in that network, the one closest to your own frequency, the one whose arrival you have been preparing for through every experience that carved you deeper, is already in motion toward you. When you release that lie, truly release it at the energetic level, not just the intellectual one, your field begins to shift. This is not a metaphor about positive thinking. This is a description of what actually happens when a distortion is cleared from the energy body. The field, no longer compressed by the false belief, expands. It broadcasts at a different frequency. The signal you've been sending, the one that says, I am here but not fully available. I want this, but I'm not sure I trust it. I feel the pull, but I keep my walls close. That signal begins to change. And when it changes, so does what you attract. Like tuning a radio dial past static and suddenly finding a clear, strong station. The moment your field shifts, the entire landscape of what is possible for you shifts with it. Your DNA carries more than genetics. It carries memory. It carries galactic instruction encoded in light sequences that were placed there before your birth into this dimension. These sequences are not passive. They are not dormant records of a distant origin. They are active code, responsive to frequency, capable of activation through resonance, through transmission, through the precise conditions that your path has been building toward. Within those sequences is the blueprint of the relationships you agreed to experience, not just the karmic ones meant to teach you, not just the mirror connections that reflected your wounds back with surgical precision, but the covenant ones, the ones built on resonance rather than wound, the ones that carry the energy of a promise made between two souls before density, before forgetting, before the long journey of incarnation began, the ones that were always meant to find you once you reached this level of awareness. You are reaching that level now, not in some future version of yourself who has cleared every wound and answered every question and arrived at perfect spiritual readiness. You are reaching it as you are, in this moment, with every scar and every gift and every question still unresolved. The convergence is already in motion, but it requires you to become someone specific, not someone different, not someone less, not someone who has transcended their humanity in order to qualify, but someone who has shed the protective layers that were necessary for survival in your earlier awakening, and are now simply standing in the way of what's next. The armor served you. Acknowledge it for that. The walls that rose after the losses, after the connections that opened you and then withdrew, after the moments when you offered your deepest frequency and found the other person could not hold it. Those walls kept you intact through seasons of real vulnerability. They were not wrong. They were adaptive. But what was protection then is restriction now. What kept you safe in an earlier chapter is what is preventing the next chapter from beginning. And your soul knows this. That is why there is a tension in you that no amount of spiritual practice has fully resolved, because the practice cannot resolve what the field is still broadcasting. The next activation is about sovereignty. True soul resonance does not require you to diminish yourself to be received. Let that land fully. You do not need to make yourself smaller, softer, less intense, less awakened, less certain of what you know in order to be chosen by the right person. Every time you have tried to reduce yourself to fit someone else's capacity, you have not made yourself more lovable, you have made yourself less recognizable. Because the one who is meant to find you is navigating by your frequency signature. They are not looking for a version of you that has been carefully curated for palatability. They are looking for the real transmission, the unedited signal, the frequency that you have spent this entire lifetime learning to generate, the one moving towards you whether they are already in your physical orbit, circling closer through a pattern of coincidences that your heart has noticed even if your mind has dismissed, or approaching through a sequence of synchronicities you haven't yet fully mapped, is not looking for someone small. They are not looking for someone easy. They are not looking for someone whose depth can be managed and whose light can be tolerated in comfortable doses. They are looking for the signal of someone who has done the work, someone who has faced the void of their own spiritual depth and chosen not to retreat from it. Someone who has sat in the darkest nights of the soul's questioning and come through not unscathed but unbroken. Someone who stands in the full amplitude of their frequency, without apology, without the performance of modesty, without the collapse of self-diminishment. This is what we'll call them in, not strategy, not performance, not carefully managed vulnerability that reveals just enough to seem open while keeping the deepest chambers sealed. Frequency, authentic, unwavering, galactically sourced frequency that says, I know who I am, I know why I'm here, and I am ready to be met. That transmission cuts through every layer of noise in this dense field and reaches exactly the soul it was meant to reach. It is the most powerful signal a starseed can broadcast, and it is generated not through any external action but through the single internal act of deciding, completely and without reservation, that you are worthy of what is already moving toward you. The third activation is the one most starseeds resist the longest surrender. Not the collapse of boundaries, not the abandonment of discernment, not the naive opening that ignores patterns or pretends warning signs, are simply spiritual tests of faith. Surrender in the Arcturian understanding is something far more precise and far more powerful. It is the release of control over the how and the when. It is the willingness to allow the intelligence that architected this convergence from beyond your conscious awareness to complete the work without your interference. Because every time you try to engineer the timing, to force the pace, to manufacture the conditions that you believe should precede the meeting, you introduce human frequency into a process that operates at a much higher vibration, and the interference, however well-intentioned, creates delay. The Arcturian field has shown clearly that the timing of resonant soul meetings is not arbitrary, it is architecturally precise. There is a reason it has not happened yet in the form you have imagined it. There is a reason the almost connections were almost. There is a reason that when you look back at the moments that felt like they should have been the convergence, something in you recognizes that you were not yet fully ready, even when you were certain you were. Because readiness at this level is not a feeling, it is a frequency. And frequency cannot be faked, cannot be willed into existence before it is genuine, cannot arrive before the preparation that creates it has been completed. The delays you have experienced were not punishments, they were calibrations. Every moment of waiting, every quiet night when the longing sat in your chest like something holy and painful at once, every morning when you woke and felt the absence of the one your soul already knows, was a recalibration of your field to ensure that when the convergence happens, you are both at the exact frequency required to sustain what that connection is meant to build, not just to begin it, to sustain it. Because a connection of this magnitude is not meant to burn bright and collapse. It is meant to anchor. It is meant to hold. And for it to hold, both beings must arrive at the threshold fully prepared, not perfect, but prepared. The waiting was not wasted. It was sacred preparation. Every wound that cracked you open created more capacity. Every loss that taught you what you would not accept again refined the precision of your signal. Every season of solitude that felt like abandonment was in truth a deepening, a carving of greater internal space to hold the frequency of what is coming. You were not being kept from love. You were being prepared for a love so specifically calibrated to your frequency that anything less would have been a distraction from what was always yours. The fourth activation asks you to stop scanning the horizon and start deepening into the present. This is perhaps the most practical instruction in all of this transmission, and it is also perhaps the most counterintuitive for a soul that has been waiting. Because when you have been waiting, the natural posture is forward-facing, watching the approach, reading the signs, analyzing the synchronicities, trying to determine if this person or that moment or this development is the signal that the convergence is finally here. And that forward-facing posture, however understandable, actually creates a subtle distortion in your frequency. It says what I'm looking for is not here yet, and the universe, which responds to the frequency of what you broadcast rather than the content of what you desire, hears, not here yet, and honors it. The soul you are meant to encounter is not going to arrive in a moment of desperation or longing. They are not going to be drawn in by the frequency of searching. They are going to arrive or reveal themselves, because they may already be closer than you realize in a moment when you are so fully present, so fully inhabiting your own energy field, so fully alive within the specific expression of who you actually are, that the recognition will be instantaneous, not gradual, not uncertain, not the slow warming of someone who could become something over time. Instantaneous. Like the moment two tuning forks at the same frequency are brought into proximity, neither one has to do anything. The resonance begins on its own. You will know. Your body will know before your mind has assembled its first question. Your field will know before your thoughts have arrived to interpret the experience. There will be a recognition that bypasses every intellectual framework you have built and lands directly in the oldest part of you, the part that existed before this incarnation, the part that made the agreement, the part that has been navigating toward this threshold through every lifetime it took to get here. The fifth activation is about allowing yourself to be wanted. This may be the most quietly devastating wound that starseeds carry, the deep cellular discomfort with being fully desired, fully chosen, fully valued, not for your gifts or your light or the transmissions that flow through you, not for your spiritual insight or the way you hold space or the frequency you generate when you are at your most activated, but simply for who you are in the most human, most present, most unhidden version of yourself. The you that doesn't know the answer. The you that lies awake uncertain. The you that burns with longing and doesn't dress it up as something more elevated. The you that simply, completely, without any spiritual packaging, wants to be loved. Many of you have been wanted for what you carry. The light that moves through you is unmistakable, and it draws people in, some genuinely, some unconsciously seeking to absorb what they themselves have not yet accessed. You have been sought for your wisdom. You have been sought for your healing presence. You have been sought for the way you make others feel seen, feel held, feel more real than they feel in most company. But few of you have been wanted simply for the soul inside the gift. Few of you have experienced someone who looked past the transmission and said it is you, not what you carry, you. And so the energy body developed a compensation. It learned to offer the gifts as a form of currency, a way of ensuring continued welcome. Because what lived beneath the gifts didn't feel like enough. What was simply human, simply present, simply the raw, ungilded self, that version felt insufficient, disposable, too ordinary for someone whose spiritual nature suggested they should be anything but ordinary. And so the deepest chamber of the self remained locked. Not cruelly, protectively, because every time the door to that chamber opened even slightly, history suggested someone would eventually find it too much, too deep, too feeling, too unresolvable, and withdraw. This person will not decide it's too much. Let that move through you fully. This connection is not built on the surface version of you. It is not calibrated to the curated, spiritually presentable version. It is built on the frequency of your complete and total self, the awakened and the still awakening, the light and the shadow, the cosmic and the human, the certain and the still becoming, the healed and the still healing. The version of you that is sometimes radiant beyond description and sometimes sits in a darkness that no amount of knowing how to hold space for others has fully taught you to hold for yourself. All of it. Every frequency in the full spectrum of who you are. That is what this soul is calibrated to recognize. That is what this soul has been preparing their own frequency to receive. Let yourself be wanted at that level. Let the field open. Not with recklessness, not without discernment, but with the willingness to allow someone to see further into you than you have historically permitted, and to trust that what they find there will not send them away. Because it won't. Because the one who is coming is not looking for easy. They are looking for real, and you are the most real thing they have ever encountered in this or any lifetime. The sixth activation is perhaps the most cosmic. It is the realization that this connection is not just for you. Every genuine soul resonance at the starseed level carries a collective purpose. When two beings of this vibrational signature come into full alignment, their combined field becomes something the planet needs, in ways that extend far beyond what either individual could comprehend from within their own perspective. The mathematics of starseed resonance are not simply additive. The field generated by two fully aligned starseed counterparts is not twice the frequency of one. It is exponentially more, because it creates a new vibrational entity, a combined consciousness that operates at a bandwidth unavailable to any single being operating alone, a stabilizing force, an anchor point for higher dimensional frequencies that Earth's grid requires in order to continue its ascension through these extraordinary years of transition, a beacon that other awakening souls can navigate toward when the density becomes disorienting and the remembrance of their own origin feels fragile. You are not just being guided toward this person for your own fulfillment, though your fulfillment matters enormously. And do not minimize that. The universe is not asking you to sacrifice personal joy for collective good. It is offering you both simultaneously, because at this level of alignment, they are not separate things. You are being guided toward them because together, you will hold something, transmit something, anchor something into the fabric of this dimension that neither of you could sustain alone. This is why it has felt so important. This is why the longing has run so deep, deeper than ordinary desire, deeper than the ache for companionship, deeper than the wish for comfort or belonging. Because ordinary desire doesn't live in the bones the way this does. Ordinary longing doesn't persist through every spiritual practice and every season of growth and every peak experience and every achievement of the mission, remaining constant even when everything else shifts. This longing has persisted because it is not merely personal. It is cosmic. Your soul already knows what this convergence is for, and even when your conscious mind could not name it, the knowing has been driving the seeking, the preparing, the deepening, the refusing to settle for anything less than the real thing. Here is the truth that your higher self and your star family want you to hear in this moment, the one that cuts through every layer of doubt and distortion, and brings you back into the knowing you were born with, the knowing that no amount of difficult experience has actually managed to erase, only to temporarily obscure. You are not too much for this kind of love. You are not too deep, too broken, too different, too far along your path to be met where you actually are. You are not someone that love passed by. You are not a being so exceptional in your spiritual nature that the very thing that makes you remarkable also renders you unreachable. You are not behind. You have not missed the moment. The moment has not closed while you were processing, healing, preparing, doubting, growing. You have not been overlooked by the universe in some cosmic oversight that filed your request under too complicated and moved on. You are arriving. Right now, in this moment, with this awareness, as this transmission moves through your field and something that has been compressed begins to expand, you are completing a frequency threshold that has been building across lifetimes, not approaching it, completing it. There is a difference between standing at the base of a mountain and standing on its final slope, where the summit is close enough that you can feel the different quality of air. You are on that final slope. The view is already beginning to change. The person the whole world wants, the one who walks through rooms and draws every gaze without seeming to try, who holds a kind of magnetism that most people can feel but not explain, who generates a field that makes the air around them seem more alive. That person is not looking for the world's attention. They feel it constantly, and it does not satisfy them, because attention that is not recognition is just noise. They are looking for the one signal in all the noise that feels like home. They are looking for the frequency that matches the depth in them that no one else has fully seen. They are tired of being wanted for their light. They are ready to be known for their soul. That frequency is you, not who you're trying to become. Not the version of you that has resolved every wound and arrived at some imagined plateau of spiritual completion where you finally feel eligible to receive what you've always deserved. You exactly as you are in this moment, with your questions and your clarity existing simultaneously, with your power and your tenderness braided together in the way that only a being of your particular design could carry them, with your mission and your longing refusing to remain separate because they were never meant to be, with your cosmic remembrance and your still very human heart that sometimes aches with a simplicity that has nothing to do with ascension and everything to do with being a soul who loves deeply and wants to be loved in return. That is enough. You are enough. You have always been enough, and the one approaching your field already knows it, even if, from where you stand right now, you cannot yet see them clearly. Before you sleep tonight, place one hand on your chest and say this aloud, not as a wish, not as a petition, not as a hope you're extending into an uncertain future, but as a declaration of what is already in motion, already written, already moving toward completion with the same inevitability as the tide moving toward shore. Say, I am open to being fully met. I release the distortion that told me this wasn't for me. I activate my soul's frequency of resonance. I am ready to be found. Feel the field shift when you say it. Feel the compression begin to release. Feel the signal clarify. Because those words, spoken from the center of your actual truth, rather than the surface of your hoping, carry the frequency of the activation you have been approaching. They are not just words. They are a transmission addressed to the one who is already listening for you. Then drop one word in the comments below, just one that captures what you felt during this message. And when you see someone else's word, respond to it. Let this space become what it's meant to be, not a comment section, but a field of collective activation. Because the energy you send out here returns to you amplified. If this message moved something real in you, share it with someone who needs to feel it. Someone in your life is waiting for exactly this transmission. And if you haven't yet, subscribe because what's coming next is already building, and you don't want to arrive at the threshold after the door has opened. You are not watching this by accident. You were always going to be here for this moment, and we are just getting started.